To paraphrase a quote from Shakespeare, to publish or not to publish, that is the question. Some people write stories for the world to see, while others write stories just for themselves and they don't even publish them. Either option is perfectly fine, but which option is right for you? This is Kathleen Lyons here at the Magic Library, and today we're talking about publishing that author story of yours. Should that be your choice? Of course, speaking of publishing, I've actually got to talk about my books that you can find on my online shop, the Magic Library shop. I have 5 books out now, and I also have merch designed for each of the different series that I have in this like sprawling world of the Astroblood Chronicles. Besides the books, I've got book merch boxes which have the books themselves, depending on which set you get. Each comes with a series of 5 prints I actually drew for the series, 2 bookmarks, and a sticker pack. And of course, besides all that, there's also individual stickers and sticker packs, buttons, and also acrylic charms that you can get of Luxalia and Asilas. I'm trying to promote my store heavy this year, and for the month of June, you can actually use Seraphim20 to get 20% off all book merch box sets. The link for my store can be found down in the description below. And with all that out of the way, let's get on into this awesome video. Publishing is a big step, and while it is the dream of most, if not every author, it is not necessarily the dream for every writer. Yes, there is a difference. Every author is a writer, but not all writers are authors, if that makes sense. The decision to publish is entirely your own. You don't have to publish your story if you don't want to, if you're not comfortable with it. Some writers write stories just for themselves, and that is perfectly okay. Others write stories for online platforms. Just be careful and make sure your work is protected if you decide to go this route, as a means of getting an audience for their story. And then you have those who will jump right into publishing for the market. Yes, I am one of the ones in this last group. I technically do write for myself, but I also do write for an audience. I want to share my stories with the world. That's why I write, and that's why I write. That's why I make these videos and have these shameless little plug segments in for every single one. But I digress. This video will primarily be for those in the last camp, but let's talk about the decision before we get into the details of what kind of publishing you'll choose. Letting others read a story you've written can be as liberating as it is absolutely terrifying. It's a huge leap of faith and courage to decide to let people you don't know have the option to pay to read a story if you decide to get your book printed or to publish it on a platform like Wattpad or AO3. FYI, if you're thinking about publishing on a platform, read the fine print and make sure your work is protected. Online story platforms are not strangers to people stealing original IPs or using your work to train generative AI models. So just keep that in mind. Either way, it's a brave step just to put your story out there. And I will say this, you shouldn't feel pressure to share your work if you don't really feel ready to show it. You've written and completed a story. That's a huge accomplishment in and of itself. Even if it is just for yourself, feel proud that you've completed a task that many have tried and few have actually completed. So give yourself a pat on the back and just enjoy that accomplishment, even if it is just for yourself. In the same vein though, you wrote a story. If you're so inclined, don't be afraid to share it with the world, even if that world is just a small group of people. Like I said before, it's a leap of faith and it's up to you whether or not to take that plunge. But even so, there are small steps to getting you to that ledge to work up your courage. Finding small groups to share your story with, like friends or family, that's a good way to sort of get yourself over that hurdle. Now, let's say that you have decided to publish your story to be printed for the masses to see. Good for you, you brave, brave soul. Get out there and share your stories and your worlds, you awesome little inkweavers, you. But here's a question. How do you want to publish your story? Did you know there's 2 sides to the publishing world? I sure didn't when I first started. This is where this week's tip of the week comes into play. Do your research about which publishing type is best for you. There's traditional publishing, which involves querying your work to a literary agent and a publishing company, and there's self-publishing, which is when you take the gamble and publish your work with sites like Amazon KDP, Drafted Digital, or Ingram Spark. Both sides come with their own pros and cons, and while I'll be talking about some of them here, I highly suggest getting your hands dirty and doing some research to find which is best for you. Speaking of pros and cons, let's talk about them. Let's talk about the pros and cons of traditional publishing first. Disclaimer, these pros and cons are what I picked up from research of accounts from others online. Again, please do your own research if this is what you want to do and when you want to know more. Pro for traditional publishing, number one, you'll have a greater reach in terms of audience. Traditional publishing allows for a big name publishing house to put their name on your work and being a sponsor in a way, and distributing it to a number of markets around the country as well as worldwide. Another pro, you don't have to worry about marketing. Publishing houses have a marketing team that will get your book out there to the right audience. This can be a big boon to your book, and it's how it's found by most readers. While all of this sounds like a good thing, there are some cons to traditional publishing. Con number one, you actually have very little creative control. Publishing houses usually do all of the work when it comes to cover design and any extra flourishes. Some publishers will work with you while others just assume control. As a creative, you do not want this. Con number two, unless you have a copyright for your work, your rights are their rights. Publishing houses often buy the rights to original IPs, and while you do get paid for it, it means that they can literally do anything with your story, sometimes without your input. Hold on a second. Everyone say hi to Token. Hi. Token, you're on camera. You're on camera. Relax, you little munchkin. Anyway, the last little tidbit of that, getting those rights back if you decide to self-publish can be a handful of red tape and paperwork, so just be very, very careful. Con number three, deadlines. Let's say your book is very popular. That's a good thing. But now it's so popular that people will expect more and more, and to catch up with demand, you will now be given deadlines in order to keep the money coming in. This can lead to very, very, very harsh burnout. I speak from experience. I might have bashed a little too hard on traditional publishing there, but that's just because I'm sort of heavily biased. And when I first looked into publishing, I knew that I wanted to self-publish just because it seemed like I wouldn't be having to deal with so much of said red tape. So let's talk about the pros and cons of self-publishing. First pro is, of course, creative control. You are in control of everything when it comes to how you publish your book. Cover design, advertisements, etc. For the ADHD creative, this is a brilliant way to expand horizons and learn the ins and outs of the industry. This is how I actually ended up starting this entire career. I don't really recommend it unless you are just like very, very bored with your ADHD and it decides to take that idea and run, but hey, if you want to try it, go on ahead. Pro number two, your rights are yours. You don't have to worry about giving away or fighting to get the rights of your story back. You remain in control of what you want to do with your story. Again, a little asterisk here, make sure that you do apply for copyrights for your story when you finally get done with it, with your final draft. Just saying. Another pro, you set your own pace. You don't have to worry about strict guidelines, and you can work on your story when you want to and really take your time letting the story develop. You don't have to feel rushed. But with the pros, there are also cons, and the con of self-publishing is that you are in charge of everything. While you are in control of everything, and that's very, very good, that also means that marketing falls to you, which is arguably the hardest thing to do when it comes to like getting your work out there. Con number two, cost. This is a very expensive venture if you buy printed copies of your book to sell at smaller book events like author expos and festivals. A case of 15 books can cost about or upwards of $100 depending on the printing cost of your books. This is using Amazon KDP as an example, considering it's the site that I use. And con number three, which is arguably very, very hard for small creators, reaching your audience. This is a trial and error caveat of this option. Depending on how well you market your book, you may or may not reach your ideal audience. The pros and cons of self-publishing are ones that I can talk about with some confidence. Again, please do your research before you make a decision. Whether you decide to go traditional or self-publishing, deciding to publish at all is a huge step. And if you do decide to share your story with the world, I wish you all the luck. Go out and share your world, you darling little Inkweavers. And just, who knows? Maybe one day we'll be neighbors at an event somewhere. Speaking of which, I will be at Coleman Author Expo June 13th at the Coleman Library. If you're in Coleman, Alabama, come and see me. I'd love to see you guys. And that'll be it for this video. But can you believe it? We are almost done with this series. We have just one more video to go and then we'll be done. This whole series has been a journey and I'm so glad you guys have liked it and have stuck around. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video and the series with other aspiring authors. And if you are looking for a community where you can talk with other aspiring authors, join a writing group, share a funny meme or two, and just spread the good vibes, feel free to join the Inkweaver Clan Discord server. We have a lot of fun over there, and it's a very fun group for all. And if you're a fan of paranormal dark fantasy, feel free to check out the Astroblood Chronicles, available for purchase, along with specially designed merch at the Magic Library shop. For the month of June, you can use the coupon code Seraphim20 for 20% off the all-book merch box set. Links for everything will be down in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. Have fun writing. This has been Captain Lyons here at the Magic Library, and I will see you and guys in this next and final video for the Authors of the Future series. Bye, guys.